Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Dream one Christmas, just like the ones.
Hey, I pulled you up on my let me turn my camera. I pulled you up on my laptop. Oh, what happened? Hold on.
My phone died. I hope
That's what I
that
said. I said my phone was to die.
I hope that the recording
Right, because that was good.
Yes, I'm like, oh my God, I'm about to check right now. But definitely yes to what you were saying. Like that's like a big thing for me. Like I can't it's just like a pet peeve.
And I don't like owing. I don't like owing people. So if I do something and I know I'm gonna owe the universe, I don't like owing if I don't know what I gotta pay. Like what am I risking when I do this?
Yes, exactly. Okay. So I just have a couple more questions for you. And then I always end with postcards from spirit. I pulled one for you earlier, so I'm going to read it to you at the end. But the next question that I have is, do you feel like being so deeply connected to yourself and recognizing like the inner goddess in you and understanding the universe a little bit better, do you feel like it causes conflict or frustration within your interpersonal relationships, both platonic and romantic?
I wouldn't say sometimes, yes, but I feel like it's just the growing pains because I'm not the same person, so I don't respond the same, I don't react the same. I do notice that even in my I've been married going on, it'll be 12 years in November. And of course nobody is the same. So it's like I'm also a person, if I know something, I know something, and I want you to know it too, instead of understanding that everybody's not on the same path, you're not on the same level. What you believe doesn't mean that person believes it. Even if they believe it, they don't see it the same as you. So it's like finding that common ground and that understanding.
Right.
And the same with other relationships or family. I come from a family that's very strong-minded and opinionated, and they tend to take their opinions as facts. So I've always been even though I've been like a people pleaser, that Sagittarius in me has always been an outspoken, like once I get to a level, I'm gonna tell you how I feel, because especially if I feel like it's an attack on me, if it's something that I'm in my heart doing and you're trying to tell me it's wrong, you got me fucked up. You're wrong because I control me.
Right.
So um so it definitely plays a part, because I see a lot of times that when you are in self, like when you're confident in who you are and what you're going after, that tends to bring jealousy of other people, because they want that same power or their own, but they don't know how to tap into it because they're too busy telling you what you're doing is wrong, or trying to see if the way that you're going is the right way. Like, okay, well, you're doing this, so let me see. And they're waiting on you. And as soon as something goes wrong, they're saying, oh, well, you shouldn't have been good at this, and da, 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 da. So you have to push past that, because you are allowed to make mistakes. You are allowed to my biggest thing is mystery. Being, Virgos, we want to know everything before. That's why I had that issue with them cards, because I want to know what's going to happen. I want to know. I didn't allow much mystery. So a lot of my blessings were blocked because I needed to be excited. I need to be, and I think that's why I don't, a lot of things that's been happening in my life with things that I didn't expect. I could have did a reading and I wouldn't have known. It literally popped up mystery. Like, it's not for you to know right now because you have healing, you have growing to do, because if you knew then, you wouldn't take that time to grow to be the person that you are, to be put in that position. And if you're not strong in your foundation, then it's easy for you to go off path. It's easy for you to be manipulated. It's easy for you to be distracted. I think I forgot the question again.
No, you're on track. I just asked, like, how does being so connected with yourself and so tapped
Oh,
in with your spirituality cause tension and frustration in your relationships?
yeah.
Um,
So by me not being that person, if you call me and be like, I've been that person that you can call me with your problems and I'm instantly trying to help you figure it out. I might have had something planned that day, but I'm setting it to the side because you need me. Like I was the type of person that needed to be needed. And if I'm not needed, then what else do I have? Because I wasn't focused on me. I'm focused on everybody else.
right.
So when you start to put yourself first, when people feel like you're obligated, my biggest thing, people feel like because I'm a stay-at-home mom, I have all this time. So why am I not doing this? Why? It's not, because that's not what I want to do, pretty much. Like, that's not where my heart is desired. So I'm doing what I feel like I'm supposed to do. And what that looks like to other people, they don't like it, or they're upset that they can't do it, or whatever the reason is. It don't even have to be about that. So I distance myself if I feel like you're causing confrontation in my life. It's unnecessary. I don't like unnecessary confrontation. I get if there's an issue, if there's a conflict, we can talk about it. But please understand, we can talk about it, we both can have understanding, but that doesn't mean that you're going to get your way after we talk about it. Talking and communicating is about understanding, and communicating is back and forth. But that doesn't mean that you're going to get the outcome that you were expecting. And I can no longer be manipulated. Like, I don't care what tactics you use. I don't care how bad. I don't care if you're going to get a toe chopped off. That is not my problem. Not my toes, not my problem. I'm done taking other people's karma and where they're used to you filling that void because you didn't know what to do. When you start to say no, that causes issues. It's like, oh, you acting this way, you doing this. Like, especially in my business, when I got my website, I didn't let people say, hey Greg, can I get a reading? I'm sending my link because that's what it's for. I'm paying that monthly and you know where to go to. My schedule, I have a schedule. And during these hours, that's when I'm available when you book. Outside of that, no, don't do that. So I've had people like, oh, you changed. It is what it is. So, and I've been told that I have a don't care attitude. And I didn't like that when I was told that, because I didn't want to be the type of person that didn't care. But I'm going back to that because now I understand if I need to be involved or not. And if it has nothing to do with me, I don't care.
Shoot, ain't nothing wrong with that to me because it's the Capricorn in me though, and I know it's the Capricorn in me. Like, I have a lot of Capricorn placements. I'm not just a
I have a
Capricorn.
Capricorn, Uranus, or something. Remember, I was telling you, I was
Yep.
like, well, I'm Uranus, so does that count?
Yep. I mean, Capricorn placements definitely count. Uranus is a further out planet, so it may not affect you as much, just depending on
Yeah.
like what house it's in. But I
Mhm.
have a lot of Capricorn energy, and so for me, it's very much like, if you're not feeding, fucking, or financing me, I don't give a fuck what you think. I don't give a fuck what you have to say. And if I don't want to do something, or if I have a boundary that you need to be respecting, I'm not wavering on it. Now, there was a younger aspect of myself that was a people pleaser because I
Mhm.
just wanted to fit in, because I
Yes.
just never felt like I fit in. So in order for me to
Mhm.
fit in, I just felt like I had to become a people pleaser. But that was never really my real authentic personality. So once I was done like trying to fit in, It's like, fuck pleasing these people. I don't give a fuck about y'all or y'all feelings.
Yeah,
And
because
it's
nobody
like,
wants to be the weird kid. You know how you be, like
I've always been the weird kid.
I've always connected with the weird kid, but I was always in the crowd. It was like I found a way to be in the crowd, but I still felt alone in the crowd. It was just like, well, they're not treating me like her, so I'm good, you know? But now I'm like,
I've always been the weird kid. I mean, I've always had like, I guess what you would consider like cool friends or friends that were in the in crowd, but I've
Yeah.
always been the weirdo, the outsider, and then I'm an only child too. So it's just
yeah.
like, that interview with Suki be like, you fuck with these bitches? I don't fuck with none of these bitches.
Yeah, I don't fuck with
Like,
none of
that's
them.
me. I don't fuck with none of them. Like,
And that used to be the energy that the energy that I have that you saying. I wanted that so bad, but I didn't have the courage to be that. Like, I did not like people to not like me. Like, what? I like me. Why don't you? I don't understand why you don't like me. What?
yeah, that definitely was my attitude. Like, I didn't want anybody not to like me, but people don't like me anyway. So
Yes,
now
it doesn't matter.
yeah, like I just don't care. So I totally get it what you mean when you're just like, you're going back to that don't care attitude because
But with
you
more
have
wisdom.
to, like, you have to not care about every little thing and every person's judgments in order to be successful and to keep your sanity. You have to. Otherwise, you're just going to be sick. You're going to make yourself sick. So I feel you. I feel you 100% on that.
Like I amped it up. It's like I didn't care, but now I feel like this version of me. I have people in my life there's people that I've met through trauma experiences and all the people that I've cut out. And I have my group of people where I'm observing and I'm allowing them to experience this me, but I'm paying attention to how you treat me. And if the energy isn't reciprocated, you gotta go. But at the same time, I'm also learning that everybody is not on the same wavelength. So I have that like compassion or that grace to where I understand, like I know I'm here and I'm never gonna come here. However, I have that understanding to where if you're ready to elevate or if you're ready to meet me here, you're not cut off. It's just that I have to separate myself until you figure out your own stuff. So if that's a problem for you, if you feel like, oh well, I encourage you to do what's best for you at that point because I'm doing what's best for me. I need you to do what's best for you, even if that does not include me. I'm okay.
Girl, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Because that's just my personality all day. Like, I will give you compassion, I will give you grace because I understand nobody is going to be me. Like, people are not going to go as hard for me as I go for them. People are not going to do the things that I do because they're not me. They don't think like me. They don't feel like me. And I have to respect that. But that doesn't mean that I have to just so freely open myself up to that.
Yes,
Like,
and that's what I had to learn.
yep, because you'll put people on a pedestal and then you'll be looking at them like, I put you on this pedestal, but you're behaving like I should kick your ass right the fuck down. And you be like, well, I don't want to kick you down, so let me just keep you on this pedestal. But low-key, you pissing me off because I'm giving you this pedestal treatment. Yeah, I'm giving you this pedestal treatment and you just looking at me like.
And another thing that I learned too is energy-wise, I don't like to let people, like I always have to have them a part of me somehow. But I noticed that I wasn't getting the same. It's like I've had opportunities presented to me, and I can easily call this person like, "Hey, girl, I got this is going you." But I had to think if it was them, they call me. No, I don't get called for anything unless it's to listen to people's problems.
Girl, don't I know it?
And then if they do invite me somewhere, it's not aligned. It's literally like spirit comes in and shut it down because either I don't have no money or I ain't got no babysitter. And I get to a point where I'm tired of saying that because at that point I feel like it's an excuse. Because most of the time I really do want to do it. But it's not aligned and I can't, what do you want me to do? So at that point, I just have to observe the situation. And then people make time for who they want to make time for. And it used to hurt my feelings, but now it don't, because the people that I cut off and the less people now that I have in my energy, I feel more myself. I feel way more freer, if that's a word. Freer is a word, right? I feel free.
Yeah.
And my freedom is gold. Like, I love it.
You having the placements that you have, your freedom is always going to be the most important thing to you. Adventure, experience, depth, always going to be important to you. That's never going to change. And you're going to find that you'll come across a lot of people who want to be your friend. Like they want to get to know you, they want a piece of your energy, they see some type of light in you. And you'll try to befriend them because you're just nice. Like you're not a closed off person. But you'll realize very quickly, like something doesn't feel right. And normally what that thing is there's no depth. There's no real substance in there. And you cannot deal with that. It's like a huge turn off for you. And you'll be like either completely mean or just short. Like, and so it'll come off as mean. So you probably just avoid people like that. But that's like something to be aware of with your placements.
Yes.
Like you can't deal with people who don't have substance, because you literally, like, you know how people say I'm aggressive, I'll walk all over if they're not assertive. It's not that you're like aggressive and you'll walk all over them, but their personality will very much get smushed.
Mhm.
And then you'll just be there looking at them like, so
What's up?
so yeah, I could totally see that for you. Okay, I have 3 more questions and then we're gonna wrap up. First question: do you feel that shadow integration plays a strong role in your success? And if you don't feel like it does, I would love to know why. If you do, then I want to know how it has played a strong role in your success.
Shadow work.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Not just shadow work, but shadow integration, because
So like doing the work and then applying it.
yes, and learning how to use your shadow aspects to your advantage, because people have this notion, right, that in doing shadow work, you're supposed to just banish your shadow tendencies, like somehow they just go away. But that's unrealistic. So, realistically speaking, you've had to learn how to make your shadows work for you. So, in doing that, how has it really elevated your success?
I want to say the most part is acceptance and accountability, because I'm aware of my shadows. So it's like I can feel it, like, anything, like especially triggers. I can feel it's like if I feel triggered, I instantly go into why do I feel like this? And then how can I, take myself again out of myself and kind of see the situation for what it is and how I want to handle it. Because I know I'm in control of how I react or I act to certain things. And I know that I'm already elevated. I'm in that place or that energy that I've been praying for. So again, I'm protecting myself to not be allowed to be pulled back down to that. So I just, hey, it really depends on the situation. But for the most part, it's like, it helps in my success because for one, I've done the work on me, and because I'm aware of this trigger or because I'm aware of my own flaws, I'm able to go about things in a different direction or from a different place than where I would if I was in my shadow or in my ego reaction. If that makes
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Just points you in the right direction.
Yeah. It's like a compass.
How would you say you avoid and identify energy vampires? And what is the biggest pet peeve that you have in sharing your gifts?
It's like, I feel when I come across energy vampires, they seem to be needy to me. It's like I can tell if somebody really needs something from me, and people that just want to just be around my energy, wants to know everything, and it's
They
just
want it,
huh?
they just want attention.
Yeah, and I cut it off. It's like I'm kind of dealing with that now. And my biggest pet peeve is touching me. I don't like for people to touch me because I don't know what your intentions are. So that's why I keep crystals and stuff in my hair, because it's black tourmaline and stuff. I'm always touching it because somebody might say that it's for one thing, but of course they're not gonna tell you the truth. If they have an ill intention, they're not gonna be bold enough to be like, yeah, girl, I just siphoned whatever. Like, I don't like people to touch me. I'll hug you, but if I lean in to hug you, I have my boundaries. I have my protection already up. So I'm giving you love, but I'm also a spiritual condom, I guess. Like, I'm protecting myself, but I don't want to be closed off. I struggle with vulnerability, but
Mhm.
now I'm mastering it's become my superpower, but still have to protect myself. I can't be too vulnerable or vulnerable around just anybody.
Right. No, that's
So
fair.
yeah.
That's definitely fair because people are just crazy. You never know what people's intentions are. Um, okay, last question. When it comes to your relationships, you're married, so and you've been married for a long time, so maybe you can speak to specifically as it relates to your marriage, but would you say that your spiritual practice has enhanced your romantic life or that it's hindered it? Maybe there's been a little bit of both, but just talk to that and like what your experience has been.
The biggest part with that was fear, because my husband, I know he believes in God, but he's not a strong, like a God this, God that. He pretty much goes with the flow, like whatever happens, happens type of person. Um, but then, like you have family. So, people have this stigma sometimes if you spiritual, like, oh, she put a root on you, or da, da, da. Like, nobody's ever said that, but you can feel, like you can feel the judgment. So I think it was his issue, but I've been standing so strong and firm in it that I see that what I do, I can see him applying it as well. So where it might have started off rocky or in a confused state, it's enhancing because we're feeling more. I know you don't like the whole twin flame or divine partner, but I feel like he's waking up, or we're becoming more divine and aligned, because he's not trying to make me something that I'm not, or trying to control or keep me in a box. He's knowing that I cannot be contained in a box, because I'm gonna go ballistic. Like, I'm claustrophobic already. I don't like, which is crazy because if I'm going through something and I'm healing, I can sit in a small closet by myself as long as I'm by myself. But if I'm forced to be in it, it's like your mama telling you go sit in the closet and you can't come out. If I'm in that closet, it's because I want to be. But if you're making me be in a box or making me be small, I don't like that. It's not gonna work. So we've grown, even with these 3 years since I've really fully been practicing, if I guess you can say. I'm seeing that he's and I talk to him a lot, so he understands my intentions and what I'm trying to do and what I'm about. So he's growing with me instead of growing apart from me.
That's good. Like, you know, I do have my qualms with twin flames, but I
I
do
don't even
believe
get
that
it. I don't even know. Like, he's a Gemini and I'm a Virgo.
okay, that's a you guys are
But
a good
I was like,
match.
those are the zodiac twins, right? So does that mean twin flame? I don't know.
No, twin flame goes a little bit deeper. We don't have time to get fully into it,
We
but
ain't got time for that.
no. But what I will say is, um, the reason why I speak so negatively about twin flames is because a lot of readers capitalize off of feeding into people's delusions, because essentially in the spiritual community, what has been spoken of as twin flames, it's not really twin flames. Like, it's just people think that
Karmic
someone's
relationships.
karmic relationships, and then also just literally people who are not for you and don't want you. Like, just because you feel like there's such a strong connection and oh my God, I just know it has to be something, and the person is telling you, I don't want you, I don't want you, I don't want you. They've literally blocked you. And then you keep going to this reader and she's like, oh, in 2 months, he's gonna be in love. And it's just like, shut up. No, no, he is
In 2
not.
months, you're gonna find love within yourself.
Like, what like, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I do believe that the twin flame dynamic exists on a soul level, right? Like, I do feel like everyone's soul has a mirror. Relationship wise and romantically speaking, I don't feel like you're meant to be with your mirror. You're meant to encounter them, experience them, learn from them,
Yeah.
grow, see things that you need to change, and then leave them alone. Because if you, and I know you have seen it because you are in the spiritual community, I know you know at least 5 people who think they're with their twin flame, and it's a whole bunch of just toxicity. It's BS. That's what twin flame relationships are. They're toxic. They normally have some type of abuse.
But yeah, we definitely don't. We're not twins.
It's not that. I'm telling you, it's not like you and your husband are probably some type of soulmates. Like,
Yeah.
And you know, we have multiple soulmates and multiple karmic partners that are both positive and negative. So it's just like, you have to take those things into consideration. I just hate how everyone's always like twin flame, twin flame, twin flame.
They romanticize, and I don't like that they romanticize toxic behavior. Like, girl, he put my head between the washer and dry, and like,
no, like, you should not be putting your head between the
love should be free. It should be easy. Like, it should be your peace. If it's hard, if you gotta go through all of this, I don't like when people say, well, love hurts. Love is hard, but it should not hurt you to where you no longer recognize yourself. Like, you're
right. Love should be liberating and empowering. Like, me and my wife, we'll be together 8 years in October. And, you know, people always come to me and they be like, oh my God, y'all are so cute, relationship goals. And I'm like, no relationship is perfect. I don't want y'all looking at me as relationship goals. Like, I love my wife loves me. We know how to compromise and work together. That's all it is. Like, that's all it is. Like,
being a team, a partnership.
Yes. And just to take it even deeper than that, when we do get upset with each other and we are arguing or we disagree or whatever the case may be, I'm not disrespecting her and saying crazy shit out the side of my neck. And she's not doing that to me either.
Exactly.
Like, because at the end of the day, we love each other. We want to love each other. So just because I'm angry with you,
I mean, you gotta be a bitch, whole bitch.
right? Like, because you're gonna remember that when I'm not mad, how I just cursed you smooth the fuck out. Called you everything but
I don't like to apologize, so now I gotta go apologize.
Right? Like, no, absolutely not. Like,
I was mad, and you can only call me that I was mad excuse for so long. I was mad. I'm sorry or whatever.
Yeah, like, I didn't mean it, but then you're like, the next argument we get into, you're like, well, you told me the last time we were arguing that my mama was a hoe and I wasn't. Like, oh my God, why y'all say shit like this to each other? Like, just write it down in a journal and burn it up or something.
And burn it. I swear I do that a lot. I swear that, hey, whoever listening, say whatever, you write it down. You can record yourself saying it, just delete it. You getting it out, but you don't have to say it to that person, because once I write it out, and then when it's time for me to communicate, it comes out smoothly. There's no cussing, there's no anger. I expressed it already. I'm good. I colored.
Exactly. So that'd be my only thing with twin flames. I know I've been talking about a lot of shit about twin flames.
I be tripping though, because I'm like, she got a point though.
Girl, because it's just so like, and then I hate how people just take advantage of these people who are just vulnerable. They want to be loved. They're looking for something to
But
cling to.
you know what? I feel like that's their own self-sabotaging, because people know what they should do, and you can get confirmation. Like, I can tell you what you need to do, and you be like, yeah, I've been knowing I need to do it, so now I know I really need to apply it. And then you can tell somebody what they need to do, and they're gonna not hear it, and they're gonna go to somebody who wants to tell them what they want to hear, and they want to. So I'd be like, you know what? You're doing this to yourself, so go ahead. And then there are people that's getting taken advantage of, but then that should make them more aware, like, okay.
It should, but it doesn't.
You would
It
think.
doesn't. It just does. I don't know why. I think it is a choice. Like, they're choosing to be dumb, kind of. I hate to put
It's
it like
probably
that.
feel easier to play dumb than to actually do the work and move forward to let go.
And it's also like limerence too. Like, people just long for things that they didn't get in their childhood. Like, if you had a mother who didn't really love you and was absent, you probably be dealing with some shit ass women on account of just wanting to be loved. Even as a woman, like in friendships, may experience that. Same thing with women and daddy issues. Like, it's just like those things that we miss as children, we look for in our relationships, and sometimes at a detriment to ourselves. Like, somebody's mama really told them, like, you just need to learn how to love somebody and love them unconditionally. And it doesn't matter what they do to you. You just stay. You ride it out. You be ride or die.
Somebody chills out there one.
Somebody mama really looked them in the face and said that. But that's not love.
That's not putting yourself first.
Right. And that's not love, because it's toxic. At the end of the day, love is about evolution. It's about growth. It's about empowerment. So if you're not getting that in your relationships, you need to leave these people alone. Like, I don't know what this generation got going on when it comes to love and relationships, but y'all's idea of what love should be is just, it's really screwed. It really is.
What year were you born?
91.
91. I feel like it's like I guess it is a generation thing, but I feel like I was born in 86. So between 86, I want to say from 86 to 95, we went through a lot as kids. And while we were raising ourselves, when we started to have our own kids, we didn't want to raise them. But at the same time, we tried, but then we still have the people of, like, oh no, you shouldn't do this. I raised y'all like this, and we're trying to figure it out on our own. And some of us are succeeding. I feel like I'm doing a very good job with raising my kids the way that I want to raise them. I get talk about what I should and shouldn't do, but then I think about my childhood and how I grew up. And honestly, to be honest, no tea, no shade, I'm the mom that I wish that I had. I'm not saying the mom, I'm the parent that I wish I had, but I don't hold that against my parents, because they are who they were still figuring things out at the time then. So this me understands that. I don't hold that against them. It's just I'm in control now. And these are my kids. So I'm going to treat them or raise them the way that I feel this good to me. Like, my oldest son I'm a totally different parent with him than I am with my younger two, is because, again, I was younger and I was taking things that I learned, like, as a child, I was applying that to him. But as I got older, I didn't like that. Like, I'm like, I can't tell you the last time I with my kids. Now I pop them and be like, oh, or something like that. But to physically get a belt and just, I don't think I've ever done it. Maybe I know my youngest child, I've never done it, but my middle child, he might have got it once or twice, and I'm pretty sure he probably deserved it. But I'm not against people not with their kids. I just feel like you have to be more mature and talk to them as human beings first, at least, because you can't tell something. Like I said, I practice what I preach. So if I tell you to do something, I am going to explain to you why I'm telling you to do it, because you need to know why. not because I said so. No, you need to do this because XYZ. Now, if I have to tell you a second time and you already know what I'm telling you, then that's a problem. But just to be all out the bat, and I don't know, I just feel as though, I'm not gonna say I'm doing a better job, but I feel like I'm happy with the way that I'm parenting. And you know how I told you, if I love it, that's all that matters.
No, I think you're right though about our generation, especially that time period, because we was a lot of latchkey kids. Our parents was working a lot. If they wasn't working, they was living their own lives trying to get
Yeah,
back
they're
the
trying to figure it
that they
out.
didn't get,
Just along for the
so
ride.
yeah, so it was a lot of growing up um fast and being independent fast. But
Mhm.
then we still got the punishments that they got, just not as harsh. So I do feel like it's important for us to be more understanding with our children, to show them how to be righteous and not just right all the time. And
Mhm.
also to take
How
out
to
some,
express their emotions.
yes, and like take out that whole like slave fear mentality. Like,
I don't
I
want
don't
my
want
kids to
my
fear me.
yeah, I don't need my kids to fear me. Now I need my kids to know that I brought them in this
Respect
world
me.
and I will take them out.
Yes, you're gonna respect me, but I don't want you to
But
fear me.
right, like, because if you fear the person that you're supposed to be able to go to for protection, what how are you to feel protected? How are you to feel safe?
I
How are you to feel
have
like you have
anxiety.
like,
Now I'm scared of everything. I'm twitching.
yeah, so and we all have anxiety and PTSD. For real, we do. A
Yes.
whole generation of ADHD, PTSD, and anxiety. All of us have it. All of us. And
Yes.
even if the people haven't been diagnosed, we all have that shit. Even
Mhm.
just from the shit that we went through after 9/11 and our parents, everybody got that shit. On top of everything else that happened, please. Girl, don't get me started on that.
My birthday is 9/11, and I still. How did you feel? I was like, what, 13? I don't know how I felt at school.
Right, like we were fifth graders, fourth graders, some shit like that. Like,
Man, we did have to carry on a lot, and I feel like that's why I feel like chosen, when they talk about chosen, it's real because everybody couldn't also survived the crack pandemic. But
that 80s baby shit is a whole nother level.
from being the test tube, being called test tube babies, and crack crack pandemic. We went through a lot, but somehow we survived. We survived. And now that we mastered survival, now we're shifting into just being able to live because we learn how to protect ourselves. Our intuitions has been heightened. We know, like we got strong instincts.
Operating solely from our root chakra and survival
Yeah.
mode. And that's beautiful, but it's also, it's a lot. It's a lot because it's a lot of revelation, it's a lot of responsibility, accountability. So you're 100% right in that. Okay. Is there anything else that you would like to add or tell the people?
Um, I would say just get to a place to heal and be ready to heal and don't rush it. Like it's not an overnight thing. It's hard, it's ugly. There's so much things that people block out that happen to them. Like you have to start with your childhood. You have to, I do it in like childhood from like 4 years old up until like 11. Then I do like teenage things because you're transitioning, and then into like early adulthood between like in your 20s. So you want to revisit those moments and allow yourself to open up and like see yourself and then heal that person. And honestly, to tell you the truth, when I go back, like I look at that little girl that used hiding was I could hide for hours and I would wait to see if anybody called me. I was weird. So I would literally hide in the closet because I didn't want to be around anybody. I'm the oldest child. And I had like, you get older kid responsibilities, but then like you're always called for something and everybody's having a baby and like it's a lot of us. So I would literally hide because I didn't want to do anything. So sometimes I felt alone. So I would hide just to see if anybody would notice that I was gone. I used to play dead just to see if anybody would care. It was just a lot. So that little girl that I'll go back to that was in that closet alone, it's like I can remember me stepping in saying, it's gonna be all right. Like you're gonna get through it. I know it sounds weird, but it's like I have flashbacks. And I'm like, dang, was that me? Like future wise, like did I really just go? Like, is this the moment that I did that? So
You probably did.
I've been doing that and I've been healing everything. Like everything, anytime I get a trigger, if I watch something that triggers something, I go back to that. If like shows like As Told by Ginger or Wild Thornberries, these are shows that were like, is that the word pivotal? Or like really, I remember them because I connected. So I go back and watch it and it brings up so many memories and I have to go back and be like, girl, you good. Like you got a successful marriage. You running your own business. Honestly, I don't know anybody
Girl, you
in
about to
my
make me
family.
start crying.
Do it because I want to do it, but I'm really
And
proud
I
of
keep crying, but I totally feel everything that you're saying. Like, it's so true. Like, sometimes.
we breaking generational curses because I feel like I am. I really do. Even like my first son, his name starts with the K. Don't you know my cousins and my sister, everybody started naming their first child, their name start with a K. Like my cousin will say, like, oh yeah, she the first, she David Ruffin, we're the temptation. And I thought that was so cool because I never looked at me like that. I just was trying to figure stuff out, but the whole time they're following, like I'm really leading without even knowing that I was leading. I didn't even, what they say, I didn't ask for this power. What Beyonce say?
Just being a trendsetter. Being a trendsetter. But you were 100% like on point with just ending with the message of going back and doing that work to heal your inner child, to heal your inner teen.
Learn, unlearn, and relearn. That's my biggest heal,
Yes.
grow, and glow. That's my saying. We're healing, glowing, and growing.
Yes, indeed. Because at the end of the day, majority of the problems that we have in our adult life stems from our childhood or even like our younger adulthood.
Environment.
hmm So it's important to go back and revisit those things and sometimes reparent yourself and be who you needed to talk you through it so that you can get out of freeze mode and get unstuck.
Yeah.
Because people always talk about flight or fight, but nobody even talks about freeze. It's a lot of y'all that are around here stuck in freeze mode.
Yes.
You're stagnant, you keep on procrastinating, you're unmotivated, you don't know why, like can't take action on anything, even though you have all these visions and plans, you can't let nobody love you. Like you're stuck in freeze mode because of trauma and immediately shutting down from any triggers. You're
And it's
operating.
not easy. It's hard trying to break those barriers because at that point you gotta trust yourself. And if you can't trust yourself, how can you trust anybody that is around you?
Right.
Like I have to tell myself when I make a decision, I used to be so wishy-washy on decisions, but now I be like, okay, this decision I'm making, I'm standing on it, done. And that's it. Whatever comes after that, that's what comes after that because I'm mindful of what I'm doing. I used to struggle with that. So, and I feel like that's my superpower.
But that's the beauty, because it's just like the fact that you can even say I used to struggle with that and now it's a superpower. It just shows that you're growing and you're evolving. And that's what this is about. That's why I even started this series, because
Yes, I love you.
I was turning on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and it's like all these spiritualists talking about spiritual things, but nobody's talking about the process, the work, the grunt that it puts on your relationship sometimes, the periods of stuff. So I want to talk about that stuff. And I want people to show like the real aspects of going on a spiritual journey, because it's becoming just like twin flames, romanticized. And it's not a romantic experience. And in some ways it can be very romantic, but it's not, that's not it. Like there's a lot more.
It's accountability, self-control, learning, releasing. It's a lot.
Yep, and it's a lot, and it's a never-ending process. You may think that you healed through something and you're fine, and then the next thing you know, you're triggered. And just because you're healed or healing, that doesn't mean that you won't get triggered.
I never say healed. I always say healing, because we're always evolving and things show up. It might not look the same way, but it'll trigger you, and you got to go back through that, because honestly, I feel like that's when you know you're elevating or you're leveling up. When I get to a point, when I told you I don't like to cry, now I'm mad that I'm not gonna say mad, but it's like I get frustrated that I'm back at this point. But once I sit with it, I'm like, you know what? This is an illusion. Like it's telling me that I'm elevating. I'm going to the next phase. I just gotta cry it out. Like I gotta release in order for me to be able to move forward. So again, that's where gratitude is the biggest, that's the biggest thing. Once you start being grateful for the very small things and saying, you know what, I'm glad, I thank you God I didn't react that way. Thank you God I chose the right, like I could have did this, but I didn't, and I'm seeing that I didn't do that, and it's paying off in this way. Like, thank you. It become a breeze. It gets hard. It doesn't get easy, but you get stronger, so that makes it easier.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It does make it easier. And, the energy that you're talking about of just like how gratitude make things easier, and how, you got to stay in touch with yourself and keep the faith. It's really just, people don't like to say this, but that's Christ energy. That's what that is. It's God energy, it's Buddha energy, it's
Unicorn
Krishna
energy, wherever you
whatever you want to, like, whatever religion you want to apply that to, that figure,
energy.
that's that energy within you, talking to you, communicating through you, turning you into an open channel. All of these spiritual books, like the Bible, the Quran, Buddhist texts, the Kabbalah, all of these things teach you how to activate those energies within your own body, because it exists.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, people can say whatever they want about people who really are like, oh my God, thank you, God, for this. Thank you, God, for that. I give God the glory. I give God the praise.
Man, all the praise.
Yeah, I'm not saying you have to be Christian, but when you have a close relationship with God, people do judge you. And it's because they're jealous. They're jealous that they don't have access to the God within themselves. They don't have access to the level of manifestation. They don't have access to the level of clarity, guidance, protection, favor. They just don't have the access. And so they don't understand why you're so grateful, why you're so faithful, why you're so devout, and they will never understand. But it's not for them, it's for you. You're the one that's chosen, and that's why you have that bond. So all you little spiritual babies out there, when you feel that connection, if you don't trust in anything else, if you don't listen to anything else, just listen to the voice of God within you, okay? Because it's there, it exists. So regardless of what any spiritual teacher is saying, any deities that you're supposed to be working with, any ancestors that you're supposed to be venerating, because all of these energies have their own agendas, okay? There's nothing that's going to transform your life. There's nothing that's going to expand your heart. There's nothing that's going to connect your existence better than God. Like whatever you look at God as, There's nothing that's going to be better than that. So people are getting a little out of hand with all of these spiritual tools and deities and such, and those things do have their place in certain
A lot of
spiritual.
it just be clout chasing too. Oh, I know about this and this, so I'm like, okay.
Yeah. But you don't need any of that. With God and nature alone, you can make miracles happen.
Mhm.
It's just a matter of tapping into that energy within yourself, because the same vibration that's in the flowers, the same vibration that drives the bees, the same vibration that drives the snakes, the lions, the trees, it's all in you.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, if you can connect with nature and you can connect with God, and that's all you have, that's all you need.
You are all you need. Everything you need is within you.
That's all you need. Like,
Yes.
that's it. So, you know, we talked a lot about just spiritual journey and doing the work. That wasn't my original plan, but I'm glad we did.
I do that sometimes.
I'm glad we did, though, because I feel like somebody needs to hear this conversation. And our first part did record, so I'm gonna just go
Yes.
ahead and do a part 1 and part 2, since this was
Is this
so.
video recorded or is it gonna be like on a podcast? Oh Lord.
Well, it's gonna be both. So it's gonna be video. I am gonna upload it onto YouTube. If you're not subscribed to my channel,
I
make sure you
am.
subscribe so I can tag you.
Yes, I'm subscribed to it.
Okay.
That
But
magical embrace, I think.
I will also be uploading this audio in podcast form. So it's gonna be both. Because eventually I'm gonna, like, on my podcast, it's gonna be all interviews with spiritual people, and that's just what I'm gonna talk
I
about.
love it. I'm glad to be. What am I the first?
You are the second.
Oh,
I had the
that's
first one earlier today.
That's
You
cool.
would have been first, but it took you a couple of days to confirm. So
Yeah, I have a lot going on.
booked and busy, ain't nothing wrong with that.
I love it. And it's not a draining book and busy. It's like I'm having fun and I can rest when I want to book and
Yes.
busy. I manifested this.
We love that. We love that. But yeah, I did another one today, and that went really well. This one went really well, so it's making me like excited about the series overall. But just that last thing that I just said about God and just only needing that energy of God within you, I feel like that's what we've been talking about this whole entire time. Just access and navigating that and going back to it every time you feel like you failed yourself, so that you don't get stuck. So if you're watching this or you listening to this, I hope that you do take that from the conversation. I always end with postcard from spirit. I did pull one for you earlier, so I'm going to go ahead and read it for you. It says, dearest you, the common sayings, be in the world but not of it, and wear the world loosely, refer to the need to be engaged with life while not attached to specific outcomes. Do not take this world too personally, for you are one of many co-creators here. You are one of many co-creators here to play, and we have many ideas about how all this should play out. Just know the outcomes don't matter as much as the presence you bring to each experience and how you let yourself flow through life. There is a real freedom in knowing and accepting this. So will you wear the world loosely, or will it straitjacket you? It is your choice. Whatever happens, have the courage to keep trying to live as you are meant to. And when it comes to manifesting, don't worry about the how or even the why. We have that covered. Everything is going to turn out exactly as it should. Spirit has a plan, loving you always and forever. Period. Yes.
That was the confirmation right there.
I love that for you. Okay, tell the people one last time where they can find you and what you are offering so they can look you up and get into all your goodies.
My business is Universe Magic by Keidra. And I'm mostly on Facebook. Instagram is Universe Magic _ Keidra, and I think I have LLC in there. It was a time. But Right now, I'm in the place where I'm still more focused. Like I want business. I want to get paid for just being me, if that makes sense. Uh, but I will post when I'm available to do readings. So if you are wanting a reading, you can message me on my Facebook page. I don't have my website anymore because I was paying it for nothing, and I was like, okay, I can cut this cost. Um, but yeah, you can find me on Facebook. I'm on TikTok, Keidra Sade on TikTok. I'm on my public Instagram is Keidra Sade. It's KeidraSade. And I think that's it. I think that's all that I have.
Okay. Make sure y'all check out Miss Keidra. She is going to be in a movie. What's the name of this movie? When is it coming out? When can this people expect to see you?
The movie is called Rare, and it is produced by my aunt, Angela Phillips Smith. We're still filming, so I'm not sure when it's gonna come out. If you follow me, if you follow my Facebook mainly, you'll see like little pictures and stuff that we're doing. So you can, some people feel like they know what it's about, but it's a lot of twists and turns. So you think you know, but you don't. Um, so yeah, hopefully it comes out soon. Once we finish filming, I'm excited. It's my first movie, and not only is it my first movie, but I got a major role. Like I'm in the beginning and the end.
Nice.
So
Okay. Well,
yeah,
we definitely will be looking out to see you on the big screen, madam. Thank you
thank
so much for
you.
your time and your insights today. I do
You're welcome.
appreciate for coming on my platform. You guys
Thank
know,
you.
of course. You
Mhm.
guys can find me at 11 Moons 11 on everything: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Um, Empowered by 11 is my YouTube handle. And you can book me or sign up for coaching, check out my blog or additional content on 11moons11.com. Okay. I hope you all have enjoyed this session of spiritual investments, and y'all have a lovely evening.
Bye.
Bye.